We have got a great guest joining us today here on our big broadcast, coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio today. And I know, I just know, being Jiggy Jag, the ugly American, I am going to butcher that last name. I want to apologize up front, baby. Sal Litvak?
Litvak.
Litvak. Well, I've broken the streak. I have been on a personal streak the last couple of days of I know I'm going to butcher someone's name and then I don't. Well, the streak is over. Just like Goldberg got beat with the cattle prod, a simple pronunciation got me. So Sal, welcome to the big broadcast. How are you, sir?
It's great to be with you. What's going on?
So, talk to us a little bit about your background. You've got quite the background.
Yeah, I don't fit in any box. I destroy all boxes. I will not stay in any
So
box.
you're like a cat, essentially.
Exactly.
You destroy all boxes.
So first of all, I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States when I was 5. I was born in Chile, South America.
Chile, baby.
Yes, and my father's family, my grandfather, my father, and I were all born in Chile, but my great grandfather came from Ukraine about 1905, and on my mom's side, she was Hungarian, a survivor of the Holocaust. My grandmother carried my mother as an infant through a concentration camp. Absolute miracle story. And then after the war, they were still in Hungary, so they got to experience firsthand what Soviet communism was like. And they got the heck out of there as soon as they could. Followed a relative who, for some reason, went to Chile, and so that's where they ended up in 1956. And then when Chile elected a communist president, my mom said, "Yeah, we've seen this story before. We know how it ends. We're out." And that's how we ended up in the USA.
That is amazing. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast. Here on iHeartRadio, AMFM247.com, TuneIn, iTunes, all the various places. And Sal joins us today. He is the author of Let My People Laugh, the greatest Jewish jokes of all time. And he is also the director of Guns and Moses, which we are going to talk about a little bit later. So Sal, when I see your background, and then I see the fact that you've written a book about Jewish jokes, the only thing I can think of is that scene from that one Seinfeld episode where the dentist became a Jew so he could tell the jokes, baby.
The jokes, Jerry.
That's right. So your book, Let My People Laugh. Jewish humor has a long and deep history. What inspired you to basically curate an entire collection of the greatest Jewish jokes?
It was always a personal passion of mine. I mean, I love the jokes. My dad used to tell them. My great grandfather used to tell them, and so I've always collected them and shared them with my friends. And then the other thing that I do, I have a platform called Accidental Talmudist, where my wife Nina and I share what's beautiful in the Jewish tradition, Torah, the oral tradition, holidays. And humor has just always been part of it. I mean, if you look at the oral tradition going all the way back to Mount Sinai when the Torah was given, and then our sages in the next 1,000 years, we already have tales of great teachers like Rabbah, a fellow named Rabbah, who would always open his teachings with a joke, and his students would laugh. So either his students were very polite or Rabbah was genuinely funny, and I choose to believe that Rabbah was genuinely funny. And
that's awesome.
And we've, listen, I mean, the Jewish people have had some dark times, some terrible times. Anti-Semitism, Jewish hatred, Jew hatred is just the oldest hate there is. And if we didn't have a sense of humor, how would we survive? It's just built into our DNA at this point. Even in the camps, I mean, there were some people cracking jokes. It's a survival mechanism. And so something that is 3,000 years old, there's going to be some evolved aspects of it. I mean, we're good at it. What can I say? We're good at it.
We're good at it, he says. That's awesome.
As
We
Robin
have got,
Williams,
we have got
go ahead.
just a tremendous, tremendous guest with us today. The latest book is Let My People Laugh, the greatest Jewish jokes of all time. And he joins us today. Sal is with us, Sal Litvak. And so what makes a joke uniquely, quote unquote, Jewish? Is it the rhythm, the punchline, the worldview behind it? What is it, baby?
Attitude. I think it's all about attitude. Because there's a lot of Jewish jokes that there's nothing really that Jewish about them. Sometimes people will complain, well, the only thing that's Jewish about that is that you put a rabbi as the main character, or a guy named Yankel, or some European Jewish name, but is it really Jewish? And it's an attitude, it's more nuanced than anything else I could say. Like, here's one that people have enjoyed lately, that a rabbi, a Hindu priest, and a politician go hiking. And they're supposed to sleep at a hostel, and they get lost. They can't find it. They end up knocking on the door of a farmhouse. Farmer's very generous. He says, you guys are welcome to stay here, but the guest room is very small, 2 beds. One of you has to sleep in the barn. So the Hindu priest says, my brothers, it's no problem. I will take the barn. Make yourselves comfortable in the bedroom. And the rabbi and the politician are settling in for the evening when there's a knock on the door. It's the Hindu priest, and he says, my brothers, there's a cow in the barn. I cannot sleep beside the holy animal. So the rabbi says, it's no problem. I'll take the barn. The Hindu priest and the politician are settling in for the evening. There's a knock on the door. It's the rabbi, and he says, fellas, there's a pig in the barn. I can't sleep there. So the politician says, let it be remembered, I sacrificed for the greater good. And off he goes to the barn. The rabbi and the Hindu priest are settling in for the evening. There's a knock on the door. They open it. It's the cow and the pig.
That's awesome. That is amazing. It is a great guest with us today. The other line when I think of Jewish jokes or things to go with Jewish, I often think of that line from Spaceballs where he's like, Drewish, she ain't look Drewish. And this book is so amazing. Now, humor often comes from hardship, as we were talking about it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Why has comedy been such a powerful survival tool throughout Jewish history?
Because I think it's just part of that Jewish attitude. Like, we're going to survive. We're going to get through. No matter how bad things get, God's got this. But it could get really bad. So hanging on to the idea that it's going to be okay in the end, at least for some of us, requires some vision and some sense of humor. I don't know to put it any other way. I don't think it was developed on purpose. It just happened. I mean, I think when you have bright people, you yourself, you're a guy with a big sense of humor, and it's just, and you're around people and you just vibe with them. And there's just going to be some laughter. In the beginning, there's many joke books, Jewish joke books. And I've always had a bunch of them. And once I really got into this, I got a bunch more. Usually they're too big. They don't have, they have thousands of jokes or many hundreds of jokes. Mine has 165, because so many of the jokes have been collected over the years, and, they were funnier in 1905 sometimes than they are now. It's not the same. The culture doesn't quite get what you're trying to do with that joke. So in the beginning, what I was doing is I was just writing them, adapting them to the modern ear. And we shared a lot of them that way on our platform, Accidental Talmudist. And then Instagram got got bigger and more popular, and I'm comfortable in front of the camera. So I said, "Oh, let him try telling the jokes." And I started telling them, and a lot of them went viral, like truly viral, millions and millions of views. And then Skyhorse Publishing came to me and said, "Let's do a book." Skyhorse has a lot of canceled authors. I mean, great company with people who've been canceled. and
that's really what they should read. I've had Richard Lyons on this show. That's really what they should name the company, is canceled authors.
Very good.
that's just the way it should be. But we have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live, and the brand new book, "Let My People Laugh: The Greatest Jewish Jokes of All Time." So, did you uncover or unearth any jokes that surprised you or taught you something new about the whole Jewish culture?
It's always a wonderful sort of sense of discovery for me, because I've been doing this for a while. When I find a joke I haven't seen before, I love that. I absolutely love that. And then you also see how some jokes sort of morph over time.
Yeah.
So there was a joke that two Jews are on a park bench in Berlin, 1935, and one of them's reading the Yiddish paper, the other one is reading Der Stürmer, which is the propaganda paper of the Nazi Party. So the first one says to the second, "How could you read that garbage?" He says, "How could I read this garbage? When I read the Yiddish paper, what does it say? Jews are being fired. Jews are being deported. Jews are being beaten in the streets. When I read Der Stürmer, it says, we own the banks. We own the airplanes. We own the ships. We own the government. It's much better news."
That's right. That's right.
And that joke has morphed over time, and now it's about the New York Times. It's about the Arabs.
One of the things that I find so interesting about the Jewish culture, I guess, and the way that Jews are portrayed is, like you were just saying there, the big thing they're always talking about. Oh, the Jews own this, the Jews own that, the Jews, the Jews are holding people down, and a few years ago for a record, and they were screwing some things, and come to find out later, after a whole bunch of investigations and things taking place, he was right. There was a bunch of Jewish people holding him down and all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys have this, trope, I guess. Why would they go, they already think we're doing it anyway. Why don't they just do it to this guy? It's just it's always so strange to me when things like this end up taking place, and then you find out later, or like in the early '90s, Eazy-E would from the NWA would be rapping about how the white man is holding the black man down and all these things. And then come to find out later, he was getting all of his royalties taken by his white business partner. It's like, what are you guys doing here? But we have got a great guest with us today. Sal joins us here on our broadcast, Litvak, and he has got an incredible book, "Let My People Laugh: The Greatest Jewish Jokes of All Time," and he's with us today here on our big program. So, how do you balance the whole preserving traditional humor with kind of introducing the modern jokes for new generations? Because, like you were saying, that joke that you just told, it has morphed over the years now to where it's been modernized for various people.
Exactly right. Yeah, I mean, basically for me, either it makes me laugh or it doesn't. There's some comedians.
It makes me laugh or it doesn't, he says.
There's some comedians who
if
are very
it works
dry.
for me, awesome. If it doesn't, get it out of here.
Right? I mean, remember remember Super Dave, Super Dave
That's
Osborne,
right, Super
right?
Dave, baby.
And he was Funkhauser on on
Curb
Curb
Your
Your Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
Very
He
dry, wonderfully dry comedian.
incredible, just recreated his entire career.
Exactly. And so I'm not like him, like there's all kinds of different styles, and I laugh at my own jokes. I like a fat chef.
I always heard the mark of a bad comedian is a guy that laughs at his own jokes. And usually I'm the one that tells that after I've told a bad joke.
Yeah, but I'm not a comedian. That's
Well,
important.
that too.
That's an important distinction. I am not a comedian.
No.
I did do a set at the Laugh Factory that they invited me to do because of the book. I was nervous as hell. I mean, who am I to be on a stage at the Laugh Factory? It was a lot
That
of
is
fun.
amazing. I hope you had someone videotape that.
Oh yeah, sure, we got it.
Okay,
And
okay.
and it was fun, but that's not what I do. A comedian is a comedian. A comedian is up there for half an hour with a microphone, an hour if he's doing like the whole show.
Yeah.
Those guys, I'm in awe, absolute awe. To entertain a big audience with just a microphone, it's fantastic. But that's not what I do. I tell jokes. And so I consider myself to be more connected to somebody like Abraham Lincoln, who loved jokes, had a huge storehouse in his mind of all the greatest jokes. And he would have that twinkle in his eye as he was approaching the punchline. It was already making him laugh. And there was something infectious about that. And so I'm more in that tradition. And there's a lot of just, your grandpa, your uncle, same type of idea who's sharing it with you. And it gives him a kick, and that's why he's confident that it's going to give the people around him a kick. And so my joke book it's obviously meant to entertain and make the reader laugh, but it's also a resource. I've got lists at the front of the book. Best jokes for a business lunch, best jokes for a wedding toast, best jokes for a golf outing. It's like to arm you when you need a joke. That's what's good about it.
That's awesome.
And Tony, when he came to me and said, "Let's do this book," I said, "Okay, well, how many jokes do you want?" And he said, "Well, I'm thinking 400." I said, "No,
400.
And I
Yes,
said no.
I'll just pull up Chat GPT.
I mean,
and input it in there, and it'll give me some Jewish jokes, and we'll fill your book.
Because I could give them 400 jokes. It's not a problem. Like I said, I adapt them. I only wrote one original joke. There's one joke that I wrote, and if anyone can identify it, they get a free T-shirt. But
that's right. Send your cards and letters.
Exactly. But the point is, if there's 400 jokes in a book, a lot of them won't be funny. So I have all funny jokes. They're all good, and that's the point. There's 162 high-end, high-quality jokes that will deliver. And that's what I'm promising. That's what I'm interested in. And so when you ask me, how do you adjust to the modern ear, I just consider myself somebody with a good sense of humor. And if the joke makes me laugh, then there's a good chance it's going to make other people laugh. That's how I go about it.
That is amazing. We have got a great guest for this today. He joins us live. Let My People Laugh, the greatest Jewish jokes of all time. I love the fact that you put the time and the effort in to put this book together, because there are a lot of people that would have found a ghostwriter, found a researcher. There was a guy fairly recently that me and my former co-host of the Sunday radio show, Ross the Boss, the rabble-rousing ringleader, he was a documentarian. That's what he sold himself as. He went out and he paid somebody to shoot it. He went out and paid somebody to write it and direct it. And he paid somebody to edit it. And then he goes around to these film festivals and goes, "Look at my documentary."
Yeah, right.
You went and put the time in and wrote this goddamn book yourself. I love that for you, my friend.
And you know what? You know what?
Yes, go ahead, baby.
I thought it was going to be easy. Like, I already wrote all these jokes. I told all these jokes. How hard could it be to put them in a book? And you know what? A book is a book.
A book is a book, baby.
There's nothing easy. It took quite a while to organize it, get a scheme, adapt every joke again for the written page. No, it's a lot of work, and I'm very proud of it.
Did you do an audiobook for this?
Not yet. I don't know
Because
why we
I'll
haven't
tell
done that
you,
yet.
I've interviewed so many authors, and in fact, there is a close personal, longtime friend of mine, Jay Izzo, the internet doctor, as he calls himself, or as his press person used to refer to him, Jay Izzo. I'm like,
Mm.
his name is Izzo. You're his press person. Don't you know how to pronounce his last name? But he always said that the audiobook, when he went to go do that, it was like, oh my God, this is a completely different animal. So that's why I was asking. I was like, uh-oh, I bet you haven't done an audiobook yet for this.
You know, I want to do it. And it's funny you're saying that because I just happen to have on my desk in front of me because I've been meaning to. I don't even know if I guess I could buy it again from Audible so I can listen to it digitally. This is my CD version of. Have you ever
That's
listened to
awesome.
this? The Kid Stays in the Picture by Robert
The kid
Evans.
stays in the picture, baby.
That is the best audiobook ever, ever.
So we have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live. The book is amazing. Sal has put together quite the deal here. What reaction do you hope that readers, Jewish or not, walk away with after reading this book? Let my people laugh.
I want them to think I got to tell some of these jokes to my friends. That's what I want. You know,
That's awesome.
absolutely that, and they do. I know they do. People reach out to me all the time. It's such an easy book to pick up, you know, because like it's just a joke per page. But really, what it is, it's you know, it's like a practice. It's like karate. You know, you got to tell that joke a few
It's
times.
like karate. That's awesome.
My wife is my harshest critic and best coach, and she's like, number one, know the punchline before you start. You must know the
Yes.
punchline. Don't get lost along the way. And then you got to practice it. You got to practice a joke. You got to tell a joke a bunch of times before you're really competent to tell it, you know, at that dinner party or at that, you know, interview or when you're going to really need it and you want to do a good job and entertain the people around you. It can't be that you heard the joke once or even just read it once and now you're ready to tell it. It takes practice.
Yes. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live. He is absolutely amazing. Um, so, is there one joke that didn't make the book, and why? Or was it because you had 400? You're like, they're all going in.
No, a lot of them didn't make the cut. Absolutely, they didn't make the cut. And and it's funny because there's one joke I told it to my Instagram audience. I said this one didn't make the cut. You know, my wife wanted it to be in. I said no. Who was right? Right. And now I'm gonna. I can't even tell it right now because I'm gonna mangle it. But it's one of these absurdist jokes, right?
Yeah.
And you know, and I think the grandpa asked his grandson, you know, what's nailed to a wall, purple, and sings? Like, what? He says a herring. But grandpa, a herring is not nailed to a wall. So you nail it to a wall. But a herring is
That is
not purple.
amazing.
So you paint it purple. But a herring doesn't sing. Okay, so it doesn't sing.
That is amazing.
It's not for everybody, that kind of humor.
Well, Sal, you are also the director of Guns and Moses.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this project.
Guns and Moses is out now, streaming on Apple and Amazon and other major platforms. It's a big Hollywood thriller, so we're really changing gears here. But that's my primary occupation. Is I'm a film director, and this movie stars the legendary Christopher Lloyd, Neil McDonough, Dermot Mulroney, Mark Feuerstein as the rabbi, Jake Busey, Alon Natal. It's a proper edge of your seat thriller about a small town rabbi who becomes an unlikely detective and gunfighter after his community is attacked. Nina and I wrote it and I directed it before October 7th happened. We were in post-production when October 7th happened. And we knew that a movie about Jews under attack who fight back was always going to be relevant, but we never imagined how the world would change and this worldwide explosion of Jew hatred. But the movie is, like I said, first and foremost, an exciting, edge of your seat thriller. And people can watch it right now. If you have Amazon, you have Apple, YouTube TV, Google Play, whatever you watch movies on at home, you can watch it. We're so proud of it. It really came out amazing. And we just, like I said, we never imagined how relevant it would be. But it is. And a couple other features about it that are pretty interesting to people is, the rabbi has to learn how to shoot. And like me, I didn't grow up around guns. The rabbi was not a gun guy until the danger found him and he had to learn. And in movies, I mean, it's happened thousands of times that a character needs to learn how to use a gun. And it's always a very silly montage, a few tin cans on a fence. 15 seconds later, the guy is a dead shot. That's not the real world. That's not how it works at all. So there's proper real world firearms training in the movie. And people in the firearms community appreciate that so much. And it comes from my own experience. I'm in a security organization called Magen Am. It means Shield of the Nation in Hebrew. And, just a bunch of regular guys who got licensed, got armed, and we will stand up and defend our communities. And we pray to God that we'll never need such skills. But if we do, we will not be a soft target.
That's awesome. That is awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our broadcast. So you've directed everything from historical films, religious comedy. What draws you such wide-ranging storytelling? What makes you want to do that?
You asked me about the jokes. I said it makes me laugh. So when it comes to a movie, it's a movie I want to see. I remember in film school, I had an old school teacher, Polish director, great Polish director, Jerzy Anchak. He made the Polish Lawrence of Arabia. And in his thick Polish accent, he used to say this to us. He says, you want to make a movie. So what movie are you going to make? Well, you imagine it's Saturday night. You're going to the movies with your friends. You open the newspaper. This is the old days, right? And then you're going to pick a movie. So what movie are you going to pick? Make that movie. And it was very important advice because very often when people sit down to write a book or to make a movie or to do some kind of a project, they choose a subject that is therapy for themselves. It's just the thing they needed to get off their chest for a long time. But they themselves would not go see that movie. So I make movies that would entertain me. If it was a Saturday night and I'm sitting there with my friends or with my wife and we're going to choose a movie to watch, that's a movie that we're going to choose. That's the kind of movie we make.
That's awesome. We've got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. And as we wrap up here with you, my friend, do you see yourself continuing in comedy or returning to historical storytelling or blending both?
I think it's very much part of the Jewish tradition that humor belongs in every genre. So even if it's a drama, there's going to be humor in it. Guns N' Moses is a thriller. It is not a comedy, but there's humor in it. So that's just, it's my DNA. There's going to be some humor in everything that we do. But our next project, my wife and I are working on it now. I think it's also a lot of fun and something no one has seen before. When you think about biblical era movies, so it's either an actual story from the Bible, usually it's like Gladiator, some kind of sword and sandals, war, epic, things like that. But what you haven't seen is a mystery. a whodunit with a detective in biblical times. And why not? There were murders back then too, and somebody had to solve the murder. What you did have in the Bible is a city of refuge, a place where the manslaughterer, the negligent murderer, could flee to avoid a blood feud with the family of the victim. And in such a city, when a murder happens, there's a lot of suspects because there's a bunch of killers in that city. And so the picture is going to be called City of Killers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, before we let you go, Sal, how do we get your books, see your films, everything?
Thank you, brother. The book is on Amazon. It's an Amazon bestseller. Just look up Let My People Laugh, and Amazon will send it right to you. It's on Kindle as well. And the movie, if you're in the United States and Canada for that matter, a few other foreign countries, but I think our audience here is in the United States. So wherever you watch movies, it's available for purchase or rent. Like I said, Amazon, Apple, Google Play, YouTube TV. Just look up Guns N' Moses. You can see the trailer immediately. And if you've been entertained by our conversation today, you're for sure going to be entertained by Guns N' Moses.
That's awesome. Well, you are amazing. Thank you for making as much time as you did for us today. I look forward to chatting with you again. Thanks for making some time for us today, my friend.
Oh, an honor to be here. Thank you, and keep up the good work that you're doing. It's so important in these crazy times we're all living in now.
Definitely. Well, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
Appreciate it. There he goes. That is Sal Litvak, and he is amazing. And we're going to be going to our next guest here in just a few here on your world famous Jiggy Jaguar.